I had never thought about what happens to the soul after a person's death, and in general, I didn't believe in mysticism or supernatural forces. But one day, everything changed. On a rainy autumn evening, after a long day at work, I was driving home. Thoughts of my beloved family and a delicious dinner made me press the gas pedal harder, and the car responded with a sudden acceleration. The rain drummed on the roof, overpowering the radio playing in the background, where the announcer was saying something. The windshield wipers, working at full speed, struggled to cope with the heavy downpour. The car raced down the empty country road, the wheels hissing on the wet asphalt. The announcer's voice on the radio gradually started to cut out and was replaced by an irritating static noise, while the car suddenly became cold. I shifted my gaze to the radio receiver and began changing stations. At some point, I glanced at the road to make sure I wasn't veering off it. It was then that my eyes widened and my consciousness screamed, "Brake!" The light from the headlights barely pierced through the wall of rain and the darkness of the night, illuminating a small figure standing in the middle of the road. I forcefully pressed the brake pedal and sharply turned the steering wheel to the left. The tires screeched and the car swerved, followed by a muffled but powerful thud. After making a few more turns, the car came to a stop at the edge of the shoulder. The radio hissed with occasional scraps of words. My hands clenched the steering wheel, as if trying to break it, and my body trembled with tension. A thought flashed through my mind: I hit a child. After a few seconds, I regained my composure and got out of the car, hoping that the child was alive. The heavy rain and the impenetrable darkness greeted me. But to my astonishment, which quickly turned into fear, I found nothing when I looked around. There was no trace of the boy, not even a hint of his presence. Could it have been my imagination? Perhaps fatigue and my imagination played a cruel trick on me. I stood there, staring into the darkness. Impact was strong. A thought raced through my mind. I returned to the car and began to inspect it. After circling it several times and carefully examining every detail, I found no dents or scratches. It was completely intact. Thoughts in my head became chaotic and confusing. I had questions but no answers. Soaked from head to toe, I got back in the car and began to drive onto the road when suddenly, in the headlights' glow, a ghostly image of the boy appeared in front of the car. Despite the heavy rain, his white torn t-shirt, through which his ragged wounds were visible, and black shorts remained dry, as if raindrops didn't touch him but passed right by. His bloodied head showed a massive dent, with something resembling a bone sticking out. He raised his hands in front of him, as if trying to stop me, but his broken wrists immediately sagged. Everything that was happening resembled a horror movie. Fear gripped my body, and my brain refused to believe what was happening. I closed my eyes for a second, hoping that it was all not real, and when I opened them, the terrifying image of the boy was still there. Suddenly he lifted his head and began walking towards the car. Panic and fear forced me to step on the gas pedal, the tires squealed, and the car whizzing through the boy in front. Looking in the rearview mirror, I saw that the ghostly figure standing in the middle of the road gradually disappeared. A few days after the incident, I came across an article on the internet about a missing boy dressed in a white t-shirt and black shorts. This event made me believe that ghosts do exist, and encounters with them can happen anywhere.